Hey everybody, I'm Mike Garska. Welcome to Contact 2020, the communications program to help you with those tough conversations that come up in all of our lives. Congratulations, you have decided that you want to be a better communicator. Thank you for being here. So this is the introductory video for the program, where I introduce a mindful communicating awareness process and a navigation tool to help you communicate successfully in those tough situations and crucial conversations by finding some common intention. Okay, here's your free communications tool. When I learned this concept, I wondered why it wasn't taught to all of us in school. I really think it should be. And I've had students say the same thing to me. It's the process of how we communicate as humans, and I learned it in a communications and leadership workshop. Since I learned this and some of the other tools, techniques, and skills now taught in this contact program, I've been fascinated with watching and analyzing how people communicate, because it helped me so much in my career and life in general. So I've inquired about and studied best practices in word choice for almost 30 years now. And after almost 20 years of consulting to family businesses and being asked so many times what communication courses are out there, I've decided to create this one to help you and everyone communicate better and easier. Now, I've used this system many times to mediate conflict, and clients walk away with resolution. It works. Okay, so let's talk about the process, the navigation tool for tough conversations. It was first presented to me as a tool called the Awareness Wheel, and comes from a book called Alive and Aware. We were taught to practice going around the awareness wheel, sharing our process with I statements. Now I've adjusted the awareness wheel for contact and named it a process. I call it the HIP, and I think the human interaction process is the best way to define how we, people, communicate with each other. It's an automatic human process that happens whether we like it or not. And just like our heart and lungs work automatically, our hip works automatically too. When we communicate and interact with another person, we go through a 5-step process. Step 1, we sense something. Typically, we hear or see something to kick off a human interaction. Actually, one or more of our 5 physical senses kicks in to start it. Having said that, when communicating directly, it's mostly eyes and ears working. After we sense something, step 2 in the automatic process is an emotion is triggered. Step 3, almost instantly after the emotion, a thought process and perception is started. We begin to think about what we just witnessed and how we feel. FYI, Daniel Goldman, in his book Emotional Intelligence, writes, it's been proven with brain analysis that emotions are triggered before thoughts when interacting. So the hip is different from the awareness wheel to reflect that new science. Now, step 4 is a key one. From the first 3 steps, we derive an intention. Happens every time after we sense, feel, and think. We intend. It's where we exercise our greatest gift, and sometimes it's our biggest curse. We exercise our power to choose. We choose how we're going to act or react. So step 5 is we act. We might be silent and zip it. We might reach out and touch softly, or we often speak some words. Let's reverse the process to clarify quickly. How we act is determined by our intention. Our intention is determined by what we think and feel. How we think and feel is determined by what we witnessed or experienced with one of our 5 physical senses. When you and I are communicating, we are sensing, feeling, thinking, intending, and acting. And so is the other person. Important note now. Keep in mind that both your and the other person's interaction processes, your hips, are real and valid. And when you're aware of your process in any given moment, ask yourself, is what I'm thinking and feeling and wanting good for me right now? Do I need to shift it? Okay, so now it's time for the first don't do in the program. Have you heard the phrase, shoot from the hip? I've heard it a few times. At first, I thought the phrase was a positive one, referring to being honest, straightforward, and to the point. And many people do. It actually refers to reacting quickly, without careful consideration of one's words or actions. Being honest and straightforward to a fault, not to a benefit. Unfortunately, a shot from the hip, as in the dictionary definition, is often a negative shoot and mostly not good for healthy and effective communication. It often closes people up and pushes them away. Not a good idea. The exact opposite of what I want you to do. Instead, before expressing yourself, carefully consider your words, how to express your voice tone, your body language, and facial expression. Be mindful. Use the hip effectively. You can use it as a navigation tool for any conversation. Do it by sharing your own and asking about the others. We might go through numerous cycles of the process as a conversation unfolds. Reactions change with new information. It's important to keep coming back to what matters if the conversation goes away from the topic at hand. Our authentic and real human interaction process and the other person's matters now. Keep it on track. You might share all of your hip or just parts of it to open up a conversation. It really depends on the circumstances. Remember that you don't have to share your whole human interaction process in one sentence right at the beginning. I typically share a couple parts to open, and then I ask about the other person. I might ask what they heard or saw, or how they feel and think about what they witnessed, but I always ask what they want or what their intention is at some point. You don't have to find out the other person's whole process right at the beginning either. As the conversation evolves, you'll have ample time and opportunity to find out everything you need to about the person in this situation. And you'll have opportunity to share what you need to. Make sure you use the right timing and choose your words wisely when sharing and asking. Effective communicating is a back and forth give and take process. Follow the 7-step Contact 2020 framework to do it successfully. As you go through the program, you'll get tons of tools, tips, and techniques to help guide you in this sometimes complicated process. Keeping in mind that you and most people are decent communicators already. We wouldn't have a job or have any friends if we couldn't communicate reasonably well. So give yourself some pats on the back when you notice you're using some of these positive techniques already. We're often very hard on ourselves. Can you relate to that sometimes? And we don't give ourselves enough credit when it's due. So do it for you. You know, as you learn some of these skills and tools, they may seem corny, awkward, and unimportant even at first. And honestly, in day-to-day conversation, regular conversation, they don't always matter. But when things are sensitive and very important and crucial, they do matter. And how you use these important conflict management and resolution communication skills in those settings will make a big difference to you getting that peace of mind you deserve. Remember too, that we don't always have accurate perceptions of ourselves and how we communicate in conflict. So it's a good idea to get feedback from different people. Ask people you know how they perceive you as a communicator. Ask them about your specific skills, word choice, listening, clarifying, ability to find some common ground, etc. And get the opinions of a few people, not just one. It really does help to know how others perceive you if you want to be a better communicator in tough situations. Anyway, I hope the HIP helps you, and I hope you enjoy the program. Thanks for watching today. Go out, make it an awesome day. Like this video if you like it. Bye for now. See you next time.